So this is the third video for Notes 40 that's going to finish it out. We're going to be doing some adding rational expressions, which basically means you're going to be adding fractions, okay? So let's start with the ones that I expect you to basically kind of already know how to do, and that's going to be part A and part B. So the nice part about part A is you have two fractions, 1/5 plus 2/5. Common denominator already, you are very welcome for that. Which means when you add these two fractions together, there we go, I'm just going to write, I swear, you keep the same denominator and you simply add the two numerators. So 1 plus 2 makes 3, so the answer is 3/5. That's it. That's done. That's how you deal with any addition or subtraction of fractions when you have common denominators. Now, you're going to notice part B, you've got 2/3 plus 3/4. The problem is 3 and 4, those two denominators are not the same. So you need to get a common denominator. So use whatever you know how to do for a common denominator. You can list out your multiples. If you happen to know it off the top of your head, 3 and 4 have a common multiple of 12. Now, if you do that, you've just changed both of these denominators. So you have to also change the numerators to correspond to how you changed. So when I look at this, right, to change from 3 to 12, I had to multiply by 4. So that means I'm going to do the same thing to the numerator. So 4 times 2 makes 8. I need to get from 4 to make a 12, which means I needed to multiply by 3. Do the same thing with the numerator. That makes a 9. So mathematically, 2 over 3 is the exact same thing as 8 over 12. 3 over 4, the original fraction, is the exact same thing as 9 over 12. The difference is I just rewrote them so that I have that common denominator that I can now keep the same common denominator and just add the two numerators. 8 plus 9 makes 17, so 17 over 12. All right, so that's what happens if you have numeric problems, right? Fine, dandy, wonderful. Okay, I took all the numbers out. All right, so part C here, you got K over Z plus P over Z. I don't know what K is. I don't know what P is. I have no idea what Z is, but I know I can add these two fractions to a single fraction. So we're going to follow the same pattern in part C that we did in part A. So part A, we already had a common denominator. Hey, cool. Part C, we already have a common denominator. So that means I'm going to keep that common denominator, and I'm going to simply add the two numerators. Well, the numerator is K plus P. I don't know what those are. They're not like terms to each other. So yeah, part C is done. All right, that's as simple as that's going to get. So we're not moving on we're not doing anything else with these. All right. So then part D is going to mirror a lot of what we did in part B, okay? So C over A plus Y over B. I need a common denominator. Now, unlike 3 and 4, where I can actually multiply it out and look at real numbers, I don't know what A and B are, but I do know that if I multiply them together, that's going to be a common denominator. All right, so let's go ahead and figure out how I changed each of these denominators and match it in the numerators. So originally I had A, well now I need AB. So that means I needed to multiply times B. So BC. And then I had B, but now I need AB, so I had to multiply by A. So YA, or you could have AY, it doesn't matter for the order on any of these. Okay, so now that I've got a common denominator, I've done the rewrite. Let's write this as a single fraction. So AB is my common denominator. And then I'm going to add the two numerators. So BC plus YA. Those are not like terms. You can't actually combine them. And there's nothing in these problems that are asking you to solve for anything. In fact, I believe the directions either said to add or to simplify. And in either case, that's what you're doing here. All right. And then part E is kind of a mix match, right? We have one fraction that's numeric, one fraction that has variables in it, but you're going to do the same process. So step 1 is to get that common denominator. I have a denominator of 2, I have a denominator of B, so I'm going to use the common denominator of 2B. All right, so then first fraction here had the 2, I have 2B, so that means I had to multiply times B. Now, I know I said order doesn't matter, and it really doesn't, but traditionally, we tend to put the numbers first. So B times 3 is the same thing as 3b. And then to get from b here to 2b here, you'd multiply by 2, so 2x, or x times 2. And after all this hard work, we've got a common denominator of 2b. First fraction is 3b plus 2x for that numerator there. And yeah, those are not like terms, so let it be what it is. All right, so that is I believe, all the problems for adding rational expressions there. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. Please, as always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will see you in the next one.